Let's talk metrics. Let's talk metrics and KPI. It's time to dive into how we determine if our email is working or not. How do you know if you're doing a good job? What do you tell other people in the organization? What metrics should you be looking at to determine the overall success of your efforts? Well, to answer that question, let's first look at the 3 different types or categories that all email metrics fall into. First is activity metrics. These are metrics that measure actions taken by your subscribers, by the email recipients. We're talking about metrics like open rate. Now, you'll notice that open rate is struck through, right? This is still a metric that you should track. You definitely should still track this. It just can't be one of your critical KPIs with the introduction of mail privacy protection. Click-through rate, right? And click rate. We need to focus on our clicks. We need to know how many people are clicking our emails. Forward and share rate, conversion rate, unsubscribe rate, and spam complaint rate. So these are the activity metrics that every email marketer should focus on. Let's define each one so we're all on the same page. When we're talking open rate, we are tracking how many recipients opened your email. This is a good sign of subscriber engagement and typically results from good branding, good reputation, engaging subject lines, and relevant content. Now, I know things have changed with open rates, but open rates aren't dead. They're just not nearly as important or reliable as they used to be. I'd encourage you to use open rates to identify trends and expect rates to continue to go down, but don't ignore this stat. Baseline is baseline. What is a quality open rate? What is an amazing open rate? What is a low open rate? You should have these baselines pre-MPP and post-MPP. That is a good early indicator that everything is going well or that you may have a problem. Now, again, you can expect these to go down and continue to decline as more people and more companies adopt mail privacy protection. But that doesn't mean that we're ready to ignore it just quite yet. All right, click rate. Now, when we're talking click rate, we're tracking the percentage of recipients who clicked one of the links in your email. This is an indication that not only is there good subscriber engagement and active interest in the brand, but that the content and product or services you're offering are engaging and relevant for the list or your entire database. Now there's the forward or the share rate. Now, this calculates the percentage of email recipients who forward your email to a friend or colleague or share it on social media. This is a great indication that people are moving forward in your customer value journey, that your prospects are becoming not only raving fans and passive promoters or passive advocates, but active promoters. I would heavily encourage you to trigger shares and launch an ascension campaign, right? Launch an ascension campaign based on a share that invites someone to become an active brand evangelist or promoter. Conversion rate, right? When we're talking about conversion rate, we're talking about the number of people who clicked a link in your email and completed a specific action. Now, this measures kind of how much you've spent on the campaign against the number of people who took your intended action, showing once and for all, is the campaign working or not? Did the campaign work? Did we achieve our desired end result? Now, unsubscribe rate, the not fun one. Unsubscribe rate simply tracks the number of recipients who requested to be removed from your email list after opening an email, or whether it's broadcast or triggered. Now, like open rate, unsubscribe rate isn't a reliable picture kind of the overall health of your email list. A ton of your subscribers that become unengaged from your brand don't actually go through the formal unsubscribe process. They just stop opening and reading and become unengaged, right? So we need to make sure that we have our unengaged and re-engagement campaigns. We need to make sure that we're going through our checklist and looking at all of the reasons why people become unsubscribed or become unengaged, why people unsubscribe, and we're auditing our sends, we're auditing our content, we're auditing our processes to lower the unsubscribe rate. A spam complaint rate is really the one that no one wants to talk about. Now, This measures the number of people who report your email as spam or mark it as junk. A high spam complaint rate could indicate your emails are difficult to unsubscribe from, right? So don't do the old trick of pushing your unsubscribe down with a ton of hard returns, so people have to scroll and scroll to get to your unsubscribe. In fact, if you're receiving a higher than normal unsubscribe rate, look at indoctrination. Also look at making it easier to unsubscribe by putting one at the top and at the bottom of your messages until this levels out. Now, what is a high spam complaint rate? Well, the accepted industry standard is anything less than 0.1%, or one complaint for every 1,000 emails sent is acceptable. Anything above this level is considered high. For us and for me, I'm recommending that we target no higher than 0.08%. So if your spam complaint rate is higher than 0.08%, or heck, even if you're right there, I'm going to really encourage you to take a strong look at your processes, your content, and see if we can't get that down. All right, that's it for activity metrics. Let's talk about objective metrics. Now, these are the metrics that measure the success of a campaign based on your predetermined goals, right? Why are you launching this campaign? What does success look like? How do we know if it's working? So here are some common email or objective email metrics. One, list growth rate, right? When we're looking at velocity, list growth, how quickly are you adding new subscribers? Two, high value segment growth. Again, these are areas that you should be triggering campaigns to get people into those segments. Three, revenue generated, right? This one is just the simplest evaluation of ROI. Four, sales meetings booked. And finally, reviews, testimonials, or referrals received. You could target campaigns for any of these goals. So let's define each of them and make sure we're on the same page. List growth rate is how fast your email list is growing over time. This is essential to email marketing success because it helps you reach a much larger audience and achieve your marketing goals. One of the ways that you can grow your list is by getting as many people to become referral partners as humanly possible. If you're creating quality content and you're making it easy for people to share and even bribing or giving them value for sharing, then you should see organic list growth. The better your content gets, the better your encouragement for others to share it, the faster your list growth rate or velocity of list growth should be without spending any to acquire. High value segment growth, like list growth, but more specific. This metric monitors the growth of your highest value prospects and customer segments. If you're looking at your list and you're saying it's growing, but overall ROI isn't, this is a good checks and balances. This is a good handoff metric to say, if our list is growing, are we getting the right people? So if you have high list growth, but low high value segment list growth, then the way that you are growing, the new people you're getting on the list may not be the most relevant. Check your source, check your campaigns, check your paid traffic, check your referral partners, making sure that we are not saying that every subscriber is equal. This is a way for you to say these subscribers are worth exponentially more. And if our list is growing, then here's the rate we would expect this to grow at to show that we are on the right track with our acquisition. Revenue generated, right? This is going to measure the overall ROI of your email campaigns, right? The total revenue that was generated, again, saying once and for all how much email marketing efforts add to the value of the company. If you're generating a conversion campaign or deploying a conversion campaign, if that conversion campaign is driving to an online sale, then this is a metric that you should use and you should report. Right? What is the revenue generated from this campaign? Sales meetings booked. This metric measures email's contribution to revenue when sales happen on the phone or in a virtual meeting, or heck, even live and in person. This metric shows how much email marketing efforts are adding value to a sales-driven organization. So while we can't always attribute 100% of the sales to email marketing, we have to find a common denominator. We have to find a way to measure the success and the enablement of those sales that happen from a sales team or a face-to-face sales process. Reviews, testimonials, and referrals. This metric is going to measure the effectiveness in capturing feedback from existing buyers and the ability to turn happy customers into brand advocates and promoters. Look, this has 2 dedicated stages on the customer value journey, but we can't expect people just to become promoters, become advocates, become affiliates, bring us additional customers, tell all their friends, if we're not encouraging it, if we're not triggering campaigns in order to generate that. This is a great metric to track to ensure that you have all of the middle and bottom of funnel content needed to deploy in your different campaigns during the evaluation stage. The third type of metric is system metrics. Now, these metrics measure technical and overall health of your list and your email platform and system. Some metrics to track in this category are 1, your bounce rate, so hard and soft bounces. 2, your email delivery rate. 3, your email delivery by domain. Right? Remember, we talked about mapping our email list. If we have it mapped, then we'll know delivery by domain. If we see negative delivery at one domain, we'll know how big of a potential threat that could pose to the business by evaluating how large the segment on that platform is. Click rate by domain, same, right? This is the same. This is a way for us to look at the email health broken down by email client or email domain to figure out where we should optimize and how big a threat could pose if we have struggles delivering to one specific email client. All right, so what is a hard or soft bounce? What is a bounce rate? So this measures how many subscribers did not receive your emails out of the total emails sent because they bounced, right? A bounce, something that didn't go through. A high bounce rate or a rejected email signals that your email list probably has too many old or fake email addresses, right? Bounce rate helps to determine the quality of not only your subscriber list, but your list hygiene. Your bounce rate shouldn't be higher than 3%, right? So we need to make sure that you have a system, a process for removing hard and soft bounces. Soft bounces can have more attempts. Hard bounces need to be removed immediately. The good news is most modern email systems do this automatically. Some, you can edit the thresholds and change some of the rules. Others, they take care of it and you kind of get what you get. But either way, one thing I would suggest doing is not only measuring this, but asking your email service provider what the bounce rate process or automation looks like for your particular software. Email delivery rate. This metric tracks the number of emails successfully delivered to the recipient's inbox. The delivery rate is going to depend on a ton, such as your email service provider. So what is their reputation? Your email volume, your email frequency, your IP and domain reputation, and ultimately the content of your emails. Look, successful marketers with solid list hygiene need to aim for a 95% or higher email delivery rate. If your email delivery rate is lower than that, you need to take a look at your list hygiene. And you need to take a look at your overall reputation and the reputation of the tools and systems you're leveraging to deploy your email. Email delivery rate by domain. Again, we want to track the number of emails delivered to the recipients on a given domain. This metric goes a long way to help us identify problems and optimization opportunities by comparing click rates between domains and email clients, right? So looking at the delivery rate in aggregate and then looking at the delivery rate by domain and matching that to our mapped database. So if Gmail only makes up for 10%, but you're having a delivery rate issue, what's the total potential threat? Not much. If Gmail makes up 90% and you're having a delivery issue strictly on Gmail, that is a giant threat. No matter how good your emails are, no matter how good your list growth is, no matter how great your engagement is, you are fighting a losing battle because your emails aren't being delivered to the largest segment of your list. Breaking that exact same thing down by domain, but for clicks. Again, we're tracking not only engagement, not only delivery, but clicks. So we are comparing click rates based on domain, again, looking for delivery issues and optimization opportunities. Those are the three categories of email marketing metrics and the critical KPIs that every successful email marketer must monitor in each category.